Okay. Good afternoon, students. Put your attendance. So, due to some technical issue, so we have started with okay. So coal base reaction complete ಆಗಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಕೋಲ್ ಬೇಸ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಗಿನ ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೋಡೋದಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ತಂಬ್ ಹಾಕಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೋಲ್ಬೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಂದನೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಕೋಲ್ಬೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ತಂಬ್ ಹಾಕಿ. ಕೋಲ್ಬೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಕೋಲ್ಬೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ that is one of the important named reaction. Preparation of salicylic acid from phenol and phenoxide ion. Okay. Okay. The next one important reaction. Next one important named reaction. So second one important named reaction. So Remer-Tiemann reaction. Remer-Tiemann reaction. Okay. Remer-Tiemann reaction. This is another one important named reaction for the preparation of salicylaldehyde from phenol. Okay. So either coal-based reactions or Remer-Tiemann reaction is very important for board exams. Okay. So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಇನ್ ಕೋಲ್ ಬೇಸ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ನ ಕೇಳಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ಕೋಲ್ ಬೇಸ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಫಿನಾಕ್ಸೈಡ್ಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಅಡಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ನ ಅಡಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, so it undergo carboxylation reaction and it also undergo electrophilic substitution reaction. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ KCET ಅಥವಾ ನೀಟಿಗೆ. ಸೊ what is the purpose? We are adding carbon dioxide, right? Why we are using sodium phenoxide instead of phenol anta kelidre, so electrophile is a weak say carbon dioxide is a weak electrophile and sodium phenoxide is a highest reactive species. Okay, for that reason we are using sodium phenoxide instead of phenol in coal base reaction. Okay, what is the possible product of coal base reaction? Formation of salicylic acid, right? The second one is Remer-Tiemann reaction. Okay, Remer-Tiemann reaction. So Remer-Tiemann reaction alli when phenol is react with chloroform plus aqueous NaOH. ಯಾರನ್ನ ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, right? Phenol is treated with chloroform in presence of aqueous KOH. What is aqueous KOH? NaOH is dissolved in water, right? What is the addition product we are obtained? So we are obtained this addition product. Okay, again CHCl2. This is the addition product we are obtained. Again this addition product is react with NaOH, sodium hydroxide jothe react madidre what we are getting? We are getting ONA plus and CHO. Then this will undergo acidification, right? Acidification. What will we get? We get OHCHO, right? What is the product obtained? ಯಾರಾದರೂ ನೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಾ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? What is the name of this compound? Put into a chart, right? Salicylaldehyde. What is the name of the product? Salicylaldehyde. Okay. So one important neighborhood reaction is coal-based reaction. Coal-based reaction means preparation of salicylic acid from sodium phenoxide, then preparation of salicylaldehyde from phenol is an Riemann-Tiemann reaction. Okay, there are the two important reaction. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಅರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ KCET ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ what is a reaction intermediate is obtained during the reaction between chloroform and NaOH, right? ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಹೇಗೆ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಯಾವ್ದಾವ್ದು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಇಲ್ಲಿ what is a reaction intermediate is obtained. Reaction intermediate obtained in this reaction is carbene. Carbene is a reaction intermediate. Carbon having a sextet of electron, having a lone pair of electron. ಇದನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ಬೀನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಅರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ what is the reaction intermediate is obtained during Riemann-Tiemann reaction. KCET ಬರಂತ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? Carbene is obtained during the Riemann-Tiemann reaction during salicylaldehyde preparation, right? So ಈ ರೀತಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. Okay, so this is one of the important reaction. ಇದು addition product, then this one is main product. Okay, then next ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶಾಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೌಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು. ಇದಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ತಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, put a thumb in chat. So we will go to next topic. Put a thumb. Okay. The next reaction. Okay. The third reaction. Reduction of phenol. Reduction of phenol with zinc dust. Okay, this is another one important reaction, right? Phenol na zinc dust jote reaction madidre what is the possible reaction taking place? Reduction reaction taking place, right? What is reduction in terms of oxygen and hydrogen? In terms of oxygen and hydrogen, addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen is nothing but a reduction, right? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿನಾಲ್ ಇಂದ ಯಾರನ್ನ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು? ಬೆನ್ಸಿನ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್. ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ? ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಜಿಂಕ್ ಡಸ್ಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ when phenol is react with zinc dust. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಿಂಬಲ್ ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ? ದಿಸ್ ಮೀನ್ what is the meaning of that one? We are heating. ಫಿನಾಲಿಗೆ ಜಿಂಕ್ ಡಸ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಹೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ what is the possible product we are obtained? We are obtained benzene along with zinc oxide, right? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಿಂಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಜಿಂಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಟು ರಿಮೂವಲ್ ಆಫ್ oxygen in the phenol. So the process called reduction taking place, right? This is the important reaction for the preparation of benzene also. In your first year hydrocarbon chapter, that is aromatic hydrocarbon sub chapter, so one of the important reaction for the preparation of benzene is nothing but an reduction of phenol with zinc dust, right? Phenol na zinc dust jote react madidre, so what are the product we are obtained? We are obtained benzene. Benzene is the product. Okay, This is another one important special reactions of phenol. Okay. One is preparation of salicylaldehyde and preparation of salicylic acid. The another one is reduction of phenol with the zinc dust. Okay. Next. Fourth one reaction reduction agide. So oxidation reaction adre ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? The next reaction is oxidation of phenol, right? Oxidation of phenol. How phenol undergo oxidation taking place? Okay. See, I'm taking phenol. What is oxidation reaction taking place? So addition of oxygen and removal of hydrogen. But reduction means addition of hydrogen and removal of oxygen. So previous reaction, we have studied the reduction. For in this reaction, we have studied the oxidation of phenol. When phenol is react with the oxidizing agent, what is a possible oxidizing agent? So Na2Cr2O7. This is the oxidizing agent. Sodium dichromate. What is a reagent? Oxidizing agent we are used sodium dichromate. And in presence of acid H2SO4, what is the possible product we are obtained? The possible product we are obtained is benzoquinone. What is a possible product? Benzoquinone we are obtained. Okay. ಅಥವಾ ಇದನ್ನ conjugated diene. What is another name? Conjugated diene we are obtained. Okay. Conjugated diene. Right. These are the four important reaction of phenol. Special reaction. One is preparation of salicylic acid from sodium phenoxide. That is nothing but a coal-based reaction. The next is preparation of salicylaldehyde from phenol. It is Riemann-Tiemann reaction. The another one reaction is reduction of phenol using zinc dust. So preparation of benzene from phenol na reduction ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ phenol ಬರುತ್ತೆ, sorry, benzene ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Phenol na reduction ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ benzene. What is the reagent we are used? Zinc dust. The fourth important reaction is oxidation of phenol. So we are oxidize the phenol using a oxidizing agent sodium dichromate, and in presence of H2SO4, what we are getting? Conjugated diene or benzoquinone. Right? So ಈ ನಾಲ್ಕು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿನಾಲ್ ಏನ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವೆ, ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಓವರ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಂದು ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಪುಟ್ಟೆ ತಮ್, ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಈ ನಾಲ್ಕು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್? ಓಕೆ 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 okay okay okay. So my next topic in alcohol, phenols and ether chapter is some commercially important alcohol, right? Some commercially important alcohol. Okay, so ಇದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಥಿಯರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. along with that named reaction, this part is also important for board exam. Okay, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ the first one is methanol. Okay, what is the formula for methanol? Methanol is also known as wood spirit. The another name of methanol is wood spirit. ಯಾಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ wood spirit ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, in earlier days that methanol is obtained by, right, that methanol is obtained by destructive distillation of wood. ವುಡ್ ನ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋಂಥ ಒಂದು ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ ಇದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ದ ನೇಮ್ ವುಡ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್. ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ವುಡ್ ಇಂದ ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ನ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ನೌ ಡೇಸ್ ರೈಟ್, ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲಿ ಹೌ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಒಬ್ಟೈನ್ಡ್. ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲಿ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, CH3OH ಮೆಥನಾಲ್. ಸೊ ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಇದು ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋಂಥದ್ದು. ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು? ಸೊ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಬೈ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ವುಡ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ದ ಅನದರ್ ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ ವುಡ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್. ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ನ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇಸ್ CH3OH. ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ವುಡ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್. ವುಡ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಹೌ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ನ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಸೊ ಹೌ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ prepared commercially. Okay, how methanol is prepared commercially. Okay, commercially methanol is obtained by catalytic hydrogenation of carbon monoxide, right? Catalytic hydrogenation of carbon monoxide plus 2H2. This is catalytic hydrogenation in presence of high temperature and high pressure. High temperature and high pressure along with the catalyst. ಇಲ್ಲಿ catalyst ನ zinc oxide and chromium trioxide na use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. What are all the catalyst we are used for the preparation of methanol? Right, what is the possible reaction? Catalytic hydrogenation of carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide ಗೆ hydrogen addition ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ in presence of catalyst. So that's why the name catalytic hydrogenation of carbon monoxide. What is the catalyst name? Zinc oxide and chromium trioxide. This is the catalyst. What is the possible reaction condition? The possible reaction condition is 200 to 300 atm atmospheric pressure and 573 to 673 Kelvin temperature. 673 Kelvin temperature. What is the product we are obtained? We are obtained the product methanol. Okay, so ಈ ಎರಡು ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ನ we call it as water gas ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Water gas. Okay, this is the one of the method. Which method? Commercial method for the preparation of methanol, right? What is the common name of methanol? So it is known as wood spirit. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ವುಡ್ ನ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಬಂದಂತದ್ದು, ರೈಟ್? ವೆನ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್, what is the water gas? It is a combination of carbon monoxide and hydrogen ನ water gas ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. The mixture of carbon monoxide and water is known as water gas. That carbon monoxide undergo catalytic hydrogenation in presence of zinc oxide and chromium trioxide at 200 to 300 atm atmospheric pressure and 573 to 673 Kelvin temperature. We are getting the methanol, right? This is commercially prepared methanol, right? Next, so ಇದರಿಂದ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಏನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಏನು, right? What is the advantages of methanol and what is the disadvantages of methanol? ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್ ನೋಡುವ, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್ ನೋಡುವ. ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ಬಂದು, ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಸಾಲ್ವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪೇಂಟ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸಾಲ್ವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪೇಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಲ್ವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಾಲ್ಡಿಹೈಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಾಲ್ಡಿಹೈಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, we are used paints. Paints ಅಲ್ಲಿ solvent ಆಗಿ use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Okay. Then next, what is the disadvantages? What is the disadvantages of methanol ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, even small amount of methanol is intake to human body, it cause blindness. It cause blindness and so overtaking of methanol cause death, right? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ methanol human body ಗೆ inject ಆದ್ರೆ, so it causes blindness. So later on, the more methanol is intake to the human body, it may cause death also. Okay. The next, so methanol undergo oxidation. Why blindness and it causes death, right? What is the reason? ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ಬಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, methanol, that methanol undergo oxidation with air, it form aldehyde, and it will undergo oxidation, it will form formic acid, formaldehyde formation agi, it form formaldehyde and later it form formic acid. This is the reason why methanol is more poisonous to the human body, right? I hope you understand what is the disadvantages of methanol, right? It causes blindness, even small intake of methanol to the human body. So large intake, it causes death because it forms further oxidizes, it forms formaldehyde, further oxidizes formic acid, right? Corrosiveness human body ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆನ್ಸಿಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದು ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೋಸಿವ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಪೂಜಾ, ಓಕೆ. ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಥನಾಲ್ ಬೈ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ ಸೆಷನ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಚಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಂಬ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಹೋಗೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಪುಟ್ಟೆ ತಂಬ್. ಓಕೆ, okay. So we will go to next topic. The second one is ethanol, okay, C2H5OH, right? How ethanol is manufactured commercially, okay? So commercially ethanol is produced by anaerobic fermentation, right? Commercially ethanol is manufactured by anaerobic fermentation, anaerobic fermentation of sugar, okay? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶುಗರ್ ಕೇನ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಆ ಶುಗರ್ ಕೇನ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ನ ತೆಗ್ದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಮೊಲಾಸಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ದಟ್ ಮೊಲಾಸಿಸ್ ಕಂಟೈನಿಂಗ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ದಟ್ ಮೊಲಾಸಿಸ್ ಕಂಟೈನಿಂಗ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್. ಶುಗರ್ ಕೇನಿನ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ರಿಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್, sugar juice, that we call it as molasses, right? That molasses containing small amount of sugar, that sugar is responsible for the preparation of ethanol, right? Understand what is molasses? This is the final part of sugarcane juice, okay? Next, okay, ethanol. So how ethanol is prepared commercially, okay? Ethanol is prepared by commercially by, right, using molasses, right? The molasses containing sugar, right? ಅಥವಾ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಗ್ರೇಪ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನ ethanol ನ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಪ್ಸ್ ಕಂಟೈನಿಂಗ್ sugar content, right? Along with the most important yeast, along with the sugar plus yeast undergo anaerobic fermentation, we are getting ethanol, right? Sugar plus yeast ಎರಡು ಸೇರಿ anaerobic fermentation ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ we are getting ethanol. Okay, ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ದಟ್ ಮೊಲಾಸಿಸ್ ಕಂಟೈನಿಂಗ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್, ಆ ಶುಗರ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವಾಟರ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಆ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ಕಂಟೈನಿಂಗ್ sugar C12H22O11. This is the chemical formula of sucrose, right? Sucrose is treated with water in presence of enzyme invertase. In presence of enzyme invertase, it form C6H12O6 plus C6H12O6. Then these two compounds are isomers. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡಿಗೆ? ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಫ್ರಕ್ಟೋಸ್, ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಫ್ರಕ್ಟೋಸ್, ರೈಟ್? That sucrose is extracted with water and treated with a important enzyme invertase. That invertase enzyme fermented the sucrose into glucose and the fructose ಹಾಗೆ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, right? Again that glucose and fructose again treated with another enzyme zymase. What it produce C2H5OH plus 2CO2. So this is how ethanol is manufactured commercially by fermentation of sugar, that is molasses. Okay na? The next ethanol. What is the first step for the preparation of ethanol? By fermentation of sugar C12H22O11. So it is extracted with water in presence of enzyme invertase. What it form? There are two compounds C6H12O6 plus C6H12O6. So that is glucose and fructose, right? What is the second reaction? That second reaction is again that glucose and fructose is treated with another enzyme zymase. What it produce? 2 moles of ethanol along with the 2 moles of carbon dioxide. Okay, so this one is ethanol along with the carbon dioxide. So this is the two important reaction. Okay, ಸೊ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿರೋಂಥ ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ನೇಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಸಿ 10% ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ನೇಮಿಂದ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, 95% ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ನೇಮಿಂದ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 100% ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ನೇಮಿಂದ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲಾನು KCET ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀಟಿಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪವರ್ ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, 20% ಎಥನಾಲ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 80% ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲು. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುವ. ಸೊ ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು? ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ನೇಮ್ಡ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ along with reduction and oxidation of phenol, then commercial preparation of methanol and ethanol. Okay, ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ತಮ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸೆಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ತಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಸೆಷನ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ 12ಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸೆಷನ್.
Good afternoon, students. Audible? Okay, first name mention ಮಾಡಿ name section. So yesterday we discussed the concept that is a derivative on inverse trigonometric functions. So previous class ನಾವೇನ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಿಗೊನೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡೆರಿವೇಟಿವ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್, ಆ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಯಶಸ್ ಯಾರಪ್ಪ? ಲಾಂಗ್ ಲೀವ್ ಐವಿಟಿ ಅಂತೆ. Okay, everyone joined. Shall we start? Alia, Jaswant, Sanchana, Sharavati. Okay, ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. Good afternoon. Shall we start? Okay. So listen, derivative on inverse trigonometric functions. So already ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆ inverse trigonometric functions ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕು ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ಸ್ ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. So here there is a property yesterday we discussed, that is sin inverse of sin x. Sin inverse of sin x which is equal to x, and sin of sin inverse x which is equal to x. So ಎರಡು ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. sin inverse of sin x is equal to x and sin of sin inverse x which is equal to x. There's a one condition, that is a sin inverse ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ that x belongs to, for all x belongs to closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Sin inverse of sin x which is equal to x, that is for all x belongs to closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. In this case, sin of sin inverse x which is equal to x, that is for all x comes from, that is closed interval minus 1 to 1. So ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ MCQ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. sin of sin inverse x is equal to x when x belongs to, ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಶುರುವಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಿಗೊನೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್. Sin inverse of sin x is also x, sin of sin inverse x is also x. That is x belongs to closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Here x belongs to closed interval minus 1 to 1. So yesterday last question. Okay, continue ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಯಾವ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಸೊ ಅಗೇನ್ we know that the formulas sin 2x. Sin 2x is equal to formula ಏನಾಗಬಹುದು? Sin 2x is equal to 2 sin x into cos x. And there is a one more formula, sin 2x. Sin 2x is equal to 2 tan x divided by 1 plus tan square x. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಈ ಟೂ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೈನ್ 2x. ಸೊ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ರೈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸೈನ್ 2x ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ PUC ಟ್ರಿಗ್ನೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ. Is that right? So again, cos 2x formulas ಇದಾವೆ. That is cos 2x which is equal to, what is that? Cos 2x is equal to, yes, cos 2x is equal to cos square x minus sin square x. Another formula in terms of sin, cos 2x which is equal to 1 minus 2 sin square x. Again in terms of cos 2x is equal to 2 cos square x minus 1. Again cos 2x is equal to 1 minus tan square x divided by 1 plus tan square x. So ಇಷ್ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ another there is a formula tan 2x. Tan 2x is equal to 2 tan x divided by 1 minus tan square x. Tan 2x is equal to 2 tan x divided by 1 minus tan square x. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Shall we move further formulas? That is a sin 3x. Sin 3x formula ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ? Sin 3x 3 sin x minus 4 sin cube x. Sin 3x that is 3 sin x minus 4 sin cube x. Cos 3x is equal to 4 cos cube x minus 3 cos x. 4 cos cube x minus 3 cos x. Correcta? ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು. Raise your hand. All of forgetting. ಇನ್ನು ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? Okay. So again tan 3x 3 tan x minus tan cube x divided by 1 minus 3 tan square x. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ನಮ್ದು ಏನಿದಾವೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ PUC ಟ್ರಿಗ್ನೋಮೆಟ್ರಿ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ y is equal to sin inverse 2x divided by 1 plus x square, ರೈಟ್? ಇದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ನಾನು ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ವರಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಡೆ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್. y is equal to sin inverse 2x divided by 1 plus x square. ಸೊ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ನ ನಾವು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಡಿರೈವೇಟಿವ್ ನ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೀಟಾ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ. ಸೊ ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೀಟಾ. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ? ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ 2 into tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. Is it right? So here we know that the formula sin 2 theta, that is sin 2x which is equal to 2 tan x divided by 1 plus tan square x. ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ sin inverse of 2 tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta, what we can write it as? So we can write it as sin 2 theta. So sin inverse of sin 2 theta is 2 theta. Here x is equal to tan theta, then that implies theta is equal to tan inverse x. So that's why 2 into theta plus ನಾವೇನು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ? tan inverse x ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. This method we have to follow here. So problem ಬಂದೋಣ, solution. So first given function, given y is equal to sin inverse of 2x divided by 1 plus x square. So put x is equal to ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ? Put x is equal to tan theta. That implies theta is equal to tan inverse x. So ಈಗ That implies y is equal to sine inverse of 2 into x plus ನಾವೇನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ tan theta 2 tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. Is that right? All of you getting? So y is equal to sine inverse of, so 2 tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta ನಾವೇನು ಬರೀಬಹುದು sine 2 theta. We can write it as sine 2 theta because sine 2 theta, we know that sine 2 theta is equal to 2 tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. So can we write it as sine y is equal to 2x over 1 plus x square and then differentiate. Sine y is equal. So it's a lengthy procedure. So inverse trigonometrically properties na use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಏನು ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೈನ್ y which is equal to 2x divided by 1 plus x square ಅಂತ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಬಟ್ ಸೊ ಅದು ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಲೆಂದಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So can we write sin y? Okay, ನೀವು ಬರೀಬಹುದು sin y which is equal to 2x divided by 1 plus x square ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬಹುದು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಲೆಂದಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So that's why we are using the properties. So we can guess it, sir, for any question. What is that? Tan x, sir. We can guess it, sir, for any question. ಸೊ ಲಿಸನ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೈಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನೇನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ tan x ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಸೊ 2 tan x divided by 1 plus tan square x ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 2 tan x divided by 1 plus x square ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮೊದಲೇ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ನ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ 2 tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta can be written as sin 2 theta. So that's why y is equal to sin inverse of sin 2 theta ತರ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. We know that the property already explain ಮಾಡಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. Sin inverse of sin theta ನ we can write it as theta. Sin inverse of sin theta ನ we can write it as theta. That's why y is equal to sin inverse of sin 2 theta which is equal to 2 theta. Is it clear? So y is equal to, here 2 theta is there. That's why sin inverse of sin 2 theta can be written as 2 theta. So here theta is nothing but tan inverse x because we substitute here x is equal to tan theta, that implies theta is equal to tan inverse x. Now differentiate. So ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ just simplification ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. Now we are differentiate with respect to x on both sides. Differentiate with respect to x on both sides because here doing that is derivative in the inverse trigonometric functions. Derivative on inverse trigonometric functions. So ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ just substitute ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ simplification ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ. Now we are differentiating with respect to x on both sides, that is differentiation of y is nothing but dy by dx. Differentiation of y is nothing but dy by dx. 2 as it is a constant term. Differentiation of tan inverse x is dy by dx of tan inverse x which is equal to 1 by 1 plus x square. Here is the formula. So differentiation of tan inverse x is 1 by 1 plus x square. Therefore, dy by dx which is equal to 2 divided by 1 plus tan square x. All of you getting? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ? Is there any doubt? Okay, Ajay is right answer. Dhanush, please help me. ಏನಪ್ಪ? Repeat myself. Okay. So here is the question. Y is equal to sin inverse 2x divided by 1 plus x square. So here substituting, that is x is put x is equal to tan theta. So that theta implies tan inverse x. Because we know that the formula sin 2 theta is nothing but 2 tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. That's why we are substituting here tan theta. So y is equal to sine inverse of 2 tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta can be written as sine 2 theta. So we know that the property that is sine inverse of sine theta, which is equal to theta, where theta belongs to closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇವಾಗ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಿಗ್ನೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಗೇನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So here sin inverse of sin 2 theta can be written as 2 theta. Theta is nothing but tan inverse x. So ಇದುವರೆಗೂ simplification ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. Next we are doing differentiation, that is differentiate with respect to x on both sides. So differentiation of y is nothing but dy by dx, which is equal to 2 tan inverse x. Differentiation of 2 tan inverse x. 2 is a constant term. ಆಚೆ ಬರೀತೀವಿ. Differentiation of tan inverse x is 1 by 1 plus x square. That's why dy by dx, which is equal to 2 divided by 1 plus x square. Is it clear? So next problem ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೈನ್ 2x ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಯು ನೋ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಸೈನ್ 2x is equal to 2 sin x into cos x. Sin 2x, which is equal to 2 tan x divided by 1 plus tan square x. So cos 2x, which is equal to cos square x minus sin square x. Cos 2x is equal to 1 minus 2 sin square x. Again, cos 2x is equal to 2 cos square x minus 1. Cos 2x is equal to 1 minus tan square x divided by 1 plus tan square x. Please note down the formulas. So again, some inverse trigonometric properties. Sin inverse of sin x, which is equal to x. Again, sin of sin inverse x, which is equal to x. Here, for all x belongs to closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Here, for all x belongs to closed interval minus 1 to 1. ಅದೇ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೇಷಿಯೋಸ್ ಬರೀತೀವಿ. cos inverse of cos x, which is equal to x. x ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ x, in place of x they given theta, then sin inverse of sin theta, which is also written by theta. All of you getting? Please note down the formulas. So tan 3 theta also, sin 3 theta, tan 3 theta. So tan 3x, 3 tan x minus tan cube x divided by 1 minus 3 tan square x. So ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ again ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. All of you getting? ಯಾರು ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ತಾನೆ? Is it over? Shall we move to next question? Okay. Now next question, that is y is equal to tan inverse of next question, y is equal to tan inverse of 3x minus x cube divided by 1 minus 3x square, where x is greater than minus 1 by root 3 less than 1 by root 3. Here is the question. Y is equal to tan inverse of 3x minus x cube divided by 1 minus 3x square. So x plus ಏನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನೋಡಿ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಟ್ಯಾನ್ 3x. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಟ್ಯಾನ್ 3x ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅಗೇನ್ ಬಸವ ಟ್ಯಾನ್ 3x ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಟ್ಯಾನ್ 3x ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ನೋ ದಟ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ tan 3x is equal to 3 tan x minus tan cube x divided by 1 minus 3 tan square x. ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಯಾವ ಟರ್ಮ್ ನಾವು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಥೀಟಾ. ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಥೀಟಾ. ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ನಾವು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಥೀಟಾ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲೈಸ್ ಥೀಟಾ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು tan inverse x. ಸೊ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿ. ಎಸ್, ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಥೀಟಾ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಜ್ಜಯ್ಯ 3 divided by 1 plus x square ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಹರ್ಷಿತಾ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು tan theta which is equal to, that implies theta is equal to tan inverse x. So if theta plus x plus is ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. y is equal to tan inverse of 3 tan theta minus tan cube theta divided by 1 minus 3 tan square theta. So we know that the formula it can be written as y is equal to tan inverse of tan 3 theta. Y is equal to tan inverse of tan 3 theta. So that implies y is equal to tan inverse of tan 3 theta can be written as. So already property ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, tan inverse of tan theta can be written as theta. Tan inverse of tan theta can be written as theta. So that is 2 theta, 3 theta, sorry. Tan inverse of tan 3 theta is 3 theta. So here theta is nothing but tan inverse x. That's why y is equal to 3. In place of theta, we are writing tan inverse x. Y is equal to 3 tan inverse x. Differentiate with respect to x on both sides. Differentiate with respect to x on both sides. So differentiate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ? Differentiation of y is nothing but dy by dx, which is equal to 3 into dy dx of tan inverse x. That is 3 into 1 by 1 plus x square ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So 3 into 1 is 3. 3 by 1 plus x square. It is the solution. All of you getting right? Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt? ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಡೆರಿವೇಟಿವ್ ಆಫ್ differentiation of sin x, which is equal to 1 by square root of 1 minus x square. Differentiation of cos inverse x is minus 1 by square root of 1 minus x square. Again, differentiation of tan inverse x is 1 by 1 plus x square. So ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ಇವು. ಓಕೆ, take on the next question. Y is equal to, take on the next question. Y is equal to cos inverse of 1 minus x square divided by 1 plus x square, where x is greater than 0, less than 1. So, ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ನೋಡಿ, put x is equal to ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, x ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. x ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? tan x ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? tan x ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೂ tan x ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೂ tan x ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಅಂತನಾ? Why you are substituting the tan x? Yes, it is a formula because cos 2x formula, we know that cos 2x is equal to formula ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಯಾರಾದ್ರು? Cos 2x which is equal to 1 minus tan square x divided by 1 plus tan square x. We know that. So that's why we are substituting. Put x is equal to tan theta. Put x is equal to tan theta. That implies theta is equal to tan inverse x. Solve ಮಾಡಿ. Put x is equal to tan theta. That implies theta is equal to tan inverse x. Yes, Pooja, you're right. Solve ಮಾಡಿ ಬೇಗ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. So 2 by 1 plus x square ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Solve ಮಾಡೋಣ. So here that implies y is equal to cos inverse of 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. So that implies y is equal to cos inverse of 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta can be written as cos 2 theta. So we know that the property, inverse trigonometric property, y is equal to cos inverse of cos theta can be written as theta. Here, in place of theta, 2 theta is there. That's why cos inverse of cos 2 theta can be written as 2 theta. Your theta is nothing but 2 tan inverse x. 2 tan inverse x. So, here differentiate with respect to x on both sides. Differentiate with respect to x on both sides. So, here differentiation of y is nothing but dy by dx, which is equal to 2 into differentiation of tan inverse x is 1 by 1 plus x square. That is 2 into 1 is 2, 2 by 1 plus x square. All of you getting right? Is there any doubt? Sorry, other doubt idena? Deepa, Narayan, ಇದೆ. ಲಾವಣ್ಯ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ? Now the next question. Okay. No doubt. Y is equal to next question. Sin inverse of 1 minus x square divided by 1 plus x square. Sin inverse of 1 minus x square divided by 1 plus x square, where x is greater than 0, less than 1. ಈಗ ಹೇಳಿ x plus ಗೆ ಏನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಸೇಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಕಾಸ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಎನಿ ಗೆಸ್? Any guess? In this format, do you know any formula for sine? In this format, do you know any formula for sine? So again, put x is equal to tan x, y. Let's me. So, if in case we substitute here that x is equal to tan theta, then it will become 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. It can be replaced by, so it can be written by cos 2 theta. So cos 2 theta na in terms of sin ಗೆ represent ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ? Because outside here sin inverse is there. So we know that the property sin inverse of sin theta that can be easily written theta. Cos 2 theta na in terms of sin format ಅಲ್ಲಿ represent ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ? ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ? So we know that sine of 90 minus theta. What is that? Sine of 90 minus theta. Pallavi 1 minus 2 sine square 2x ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೀರಾ? Sine of 90 minus theta can be written as cos theta, right? So ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ cos 2 theta ನ sin of 90 minus 2 theta ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. ಒನ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಟು ಸೈನ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ 2x ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೀರಾ ಹೇಗೆ? ಕಾಸ್ 2x ನ 1 ಮೈನಸ್ 2 ಸೈನ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ x ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. 1 ಮೈನಸ್ 2 ಸೈನ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ x ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಮೈನಸ್ 2 ಸೈನ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ 2x ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಲಿಸನ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಪುಟ್ x is equal to tan theta ಅಂತ. Put x is equal to tan theta. That implies theta is equal to tan inverse x. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? y is equal to sin inverse of 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. So here y is equal to sin inverse of, so it can be written as cos 2 theta. So again ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ sin inverse of cos 2 theta is 2 theta ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬೇಡಿ, ತಪ್ಪಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So y is equal to sin inverse of sin of 90 minus theta ಅಂತ ಬರೀ. Sin of 90 minus theta is cos theta. That's why cos 2 theta can be written as replaced by sin of 90 minus 2 theta. So y is equal to, now it is in the form of, that is the property sin inverse of sin theta. So we know that the property sin inverse of sin theta is theta. Sin inverse of sin theta is theta. That's why y is equal to pi by 2 minus 2 theta. Here theta is replaced by 2 into tan inverse x. Now differentiate with respect to x on both sides. Now differentiate with respect to x on both sides. So here the differentiation of y is nothing but dy by dx, which is equal to differentiation of constant, that is pi by 2. Differentiation of constant is 0. So again differentiation of tan inverse x is 1 by 1 plus x square. That's why dy by dx, which is equal to minus 2 divided by 1 plus x square. Dy by dx, which is equal to minus 2 divided by 1 plus x square. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Is there any doubt? Please raise your hand. ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಡೌಟ್ ಇಲ್ವಾ? Is it clear? Okay, Darshan. Next question ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದಾ? Next question. Y is equal to, is it over? ಜಶ್ವಂತ್ ಇದೀರಾ? ಅಜಯ್? Yes, Pinavi, okay. Alia Nurain? ಯಾರ ನೇಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅವ್ರು ರೈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಅನನ್ಯ? Yes. ಅನನ್ಯ ಇದೀರಾ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ? Okay, take on next question. Y is equal to cos inverse of 2x divided by 1 plus x square, where x is greater than -1, less than 1. Yes, Jashwant. So try ಮಾಡಿ. x plus ಏನ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೋಡಿ. ತರುಣ್, are you there? ತರುಣ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇಟ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮ್ರತ ಅಗೇನ್ tan x ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ತರುಣ್, ಪ್ರೀತಮ್, ಯಾರನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ರೈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಪ್ರೀತಮ್, ಉಷಾ, ನೋಡಿ ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Because without 2 theta. Because ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಐವಿಟಿ ಅವರು, ಹರ್ಷಿತಾ, ಸಿಂಚನ ಡಿಯರ್, ನೋಡಿ ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರ ನೇಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅವ್ರು ರೈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸಿಂಚನ ಎನ್, ಹರ್ಷಿತಾ, ಓಕೆ. ಚಿಂತನ, ಯುವರಾಜ್, -2 by 1 plus x square. ಓಕೆ, ನೋಡೋಣ. ನಿಖಿಲ್, ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ? ನಿಖಿಲ್ ಇದೀರಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಪುಟ್ x is equal to tan theta ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Put x is equal to tan theta. Then theta implies tan inverse x So y is equal to cos inverse of 2 tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. ಕಲಾವಿದರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಬಾಯ್, ನೇಮ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. So y is equal to cos inverse of 2 tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta can be written as sin 2 theta. So here y is equal to cos inverse of sin 2 theta can be written as cos of pi by 2 minus 2 theta. Because we know that the property, inverse trigonometric property, cos inverse of cos theta can be written as theta. Yes, y is equal to cos inverse of cos theta can be written as theta, that is pi by 2 minus 2 theta. So now differentiate with respect to, sorry, differentiate ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ first theta substitute ಮಾಡಿ. Y is equal to pi by 2 minus 2 into tan inverse x, because that implies theta is equal to tan inverse x. Differentiate with respect to x on both sides. Differentiate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? dy by dx, which is equal to minus 2 divided by 1 plus x square. Is it clear? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದಲ್ವಾ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ? All of you getting? Okay, Kaveri, correct ಇದೆ. NEET, okay. Okay. ಪ್ರಜ್ವಲ್ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿದಾನ? ಪ್ರಜ್ವಲ್, ಬಾಲಾಜಿ. Okay, get on next question. Y is equal to sin inverse of 2x square root of 1 minus x square, where x is greater than or equal to minus 1 by root 2 less than 1 by root 2. X is greater than or equal to minus 1 by root 2 less than 1 by root 2. Try ಮಾಡಿ ಏನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? Anybody? ಪ್ರಗತಿ ಇದೀರಾ? IVT ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದಾರೆಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರಗತಿ, ಎಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನ ಏನಂತ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಬೃಂದಾ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಸೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಸೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ? ಪಲ್ಲವಿ, ಸೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಯಾಕೆ? ಎಸ್ ಮಲಿಕ್, ಸೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್. ಸೂಪರ್. ಆರ್ ಸೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಹೇಗೆ? ಎಸ್ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ, ಸೈನ್ 2x is equal to 2 sin x cos x. ಸೂಪರ್. ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಸೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸಿಗೆ ಸೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಗೇನ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 1 ಮೈನಸ್ ಸೈನ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ವಿ ನೋ ದಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ, ಸಾರಿ, sin square x plus cos square x, which is equal to 1. So cos square x, which is equal to 1 minus sin square x. Cos x, which is equal to square root of 1 minus sin square x. So square root of 1 minus sin square x ಏನಂತ ನೀವು ಬರೀಬಹುದು sin x into cos x ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 2 ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ 2 sin x into cos x ನ sin 2x ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಸೂಪರ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದನಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಮಲಿಕ್ ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಅಗ್ರಿ? ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ? ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಎಲ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ? ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಎಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಿಗ್ನೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ 2x square root of 1 minus x square, which is equal to, that is 2 sin inverse x ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. 2 sin inverse x when x is greater than or equal to minus 1 by root 2 less than 1 by root 2. Is it okay? Sin inverse of 2x square root of 1 minus x square, which is equal to 2 sin inverse x. Same format, sin inverse of 2x into square root of 1 minus x square, which is also called as 2 cos inverse x, which is also rated as 2 cos inverse x. Here condition change ಆಗುತ್ತೆ when x is greater than 1 by root 2 less than 1. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಏನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಓಕೆ? ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇದಿರಬೇಕು. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಓಕೆ? ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ನೋಡಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಮೈನಸ್ 1 by root 2 ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ 1 by root 2 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಎರಡು ಇದಾವೆ. ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದೆನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಮೈನಸ್ 1 by root 2 ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ 1 by root 2 ಇದ್ರೆ 2 sin inverse x ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದೆನ್ 1 by root 2 ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ 1 ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್. ಈಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಸೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವಾಗ? ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್. ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಏನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಈಗ ಹೇಳಿ, ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ? ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ? ಮಲಿಕ್, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅಗೇನ್ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದೇ ಎರಡು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ಐದರ್ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ಇಷ್ಟು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಯಾವ ಟರ್ಮ್ ನಾವು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಸೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಮಲಿಕ್, ಎಸ್ ಓಕೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಈಸ್ ದರ್ ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್? ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಮೈನಸ್ 1 by root 2 ಲೆಸ್ ದನ್ 1 by root 2 ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಸೈನ್ ಟೀಟಾ. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಕಾಸ್ ಟೀಟಾ. ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಯು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ವೆದರ್ sin x you taking or cos x you have to take. If they given this condition, then you choose cos x. Otherwise, you choose sin x for this condition. Okay, okay. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಿಗ್ನೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರೋರ್ಗು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಸೈನ್ ಥೀಟಾ. ಕಾಸ್ ಥೀಟಾ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡೋ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್. Put x is equal to sin theta, that implies theta is equal to sin inverse x. Theta is equal to sin inverse x. So substitute ಮಾಡಿದವಣ y is equal to sin inverse of 2 into x plus sin theta square root of 1 minus sin square theta. So here y is equal to sin inverse of 2 sin theta into cos theta, because we know that the identity sin square theta plus cos square theta which is equal to 1. That's why cos theta which is equal to square root of 1 minus sin square theta. Y is equal to sin inverse of 2 sin theta into cos theta can be written as sin 2 theta. So we know that the property, that is inverse trigonometric function property, sin inverse of sin theta can be written as theta. Sin inverse of sin theta can be written as theta. Here 2 theta is there, that's why y is equal to 2 theta. Theta is nothing but sin inverse x. Now differentiate with respect to x on both sides. Differentiate with respect to x on both sides. So we all know that differentiation of sin inverse x is yesterday class we discussed this. Differentiation of sin inverse x is 1 by square root of 1 minus x square. So that's why differentiation of y is nothing but dy by dx, which is equal to 2 into differentiation of sin inverse x is 1 by square root of 1 minus x square. Therefore, dy by dx, which is equal to 2 divided by square root of 1 minus x square. Is it clear? All of you getting? Yes, 2 by square root of 1 minus x square. Lakshmi, yes. ಯಾವುದೋ ಗೇಮ್ ಆಡ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಹಾಕೋದು ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ಇದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಸೇಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್. y is equal to sin inverse of 2x square root of 1 minus x square. ಬಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಬದಲಿಗೆ x is greater than or equal to 1 by root 2 less than 1 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. x is greater than or equal to 1 by root 2 less than 1 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೇಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಅನದರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಚೇಂಜ್. ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಸೇಮ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರುತ್ತಾ? ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Without solving, don't decide. ಓಕೆ, ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಪುಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಸೈನ್ ಥೀಟಾ ಅಂತೀರಾ. ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1 ಬೈ ರೂಟ್ 2 ಲೆಸ್ ದನ್ 1 ಇದೆ. ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಬರ್ಬೋಣ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ. y is equal to sin inverse of 2x square root of 1 minus x square, where x is greater than or equal to 1 by root 2 less than 1. ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಬೇಗ. ಪುಟ್ x is equal to ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? cos x ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅನನ್ಯ? ಹಾ, ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Yes, cos x substitute ಮಾಡಿ. Put x is equal to cos x, that implies, sorry, x ಬೇಡ, cos theta. Put x is equal to cos theta, that implies theta is equal to cos inverse x. Same answer ಬರುತ್ತಾ? ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. So y is equal to sin inverse of 2 cos theta into sin theta. Correct alva? So y is equal to sin inverse of 2 sin theta into cos theta can be written as sin 2 theta. So again, sin inverse of sin 2 theta can be written as 2 theta. So y is equal to 2. Theta is nothing but cos inverse x. Yeah, theta is nothing but cos inverse x. Answer same ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈಗ. Differentiate with respect to x on both side. Differentiate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Differentiate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ dy by dx, which is equal to 2 into differentiation of cos inverse x is minus 1 by square root of 1 minus x square. Differentiation of cos inverse x is minus 1 by square root of 1 minus x square. That's why 2 divided by square root of 1 minus x square negative. So previous answer 2 divided by square root of 1 minus x square ittu, but here negative sign is there. dy by dx, which is equal to minus 2 divided by square root of 1 minus x square. ಈಗ ಹೇಳಿ both the answers are same. ಏನು ಸರ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈನಸ್ ಇದೆ, right? Okay, so class ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸೋಣ. Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt? Okay, okay. ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವರಿ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರಿ, ಇಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ನೋಟ್ಸ್. ಯಾರಿದು? ಸುನೀತಾ ಪವರ್, ಪ್ರತೀಕ್ಷಾ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. Okay, thank you. Next class will continue.
So good afternoon, dear students. Please update your attendance online. All of you, please update your attendance as soon as possible. So we'll be starting with the classes. Biology class. Yuvraj, Rakshita, Kusuma, Sonali, Mithun, Suprita. Use this. Thank you. Raghu, Aditi. Yes. So I hope all of you have joined. So we'll be starting with the chapter that is organisms and populations under the unit ecology. It's Karunya, Vidya, Ishwarya, Bhavna. Yes. Now, shall we start? Am I audible, all of you? Am I visible for you? Please give me a thumbs up. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So we'll start with the unit. So I've completed the introduction part. Okay, the unit introduction as well as I also have completed the scientist introduction. Okay, the scientist introduction has been completed. Now we'll go through the actual chapter. Okay, the organisms and populations. As I told you, organisms and populations also, although it is mentioned in your headings, but actually you don't have the organism part. Okay, organism part is not there for you. Okay, just it is mentioned as a heading. You can go through the old NCERT if you need, but I don't recommend you to do so, because if you see the NEET paper of this year also, they have never not asked any question out of the old NCERT or from the organisms part. Okay, so hence we'll be dealing with populations itself. Okay, moreover, we'll be dealing with populations itself. So to begin with, so this chapter comes under the unit ecology. If you break the word ecology, so it comes out to be echo and logy. Okay, echo and logy. So what is it? I mean, these words are taken from Greek language, and echo comes from the word oikos. Okay, oikos. Okay, so it comes out from the word oikos. Oikos means, the meaning is home. Okay, oikos means home. And the logy means it comes out from the word logos. It is to study. The study of your home, you call it as ecology. I've discussed it already. So now your NCRT, as a starting introduction, it mentions that our living world is fascinatingly diverse and amazingly complex. Okay, fascinatingly diverse and amazingly complex. So you have lot of diversity. Okay, different species of plants are present and different species of animals are present in case of your in the living world. Okay, we have lot of biodiversity. That is what I mean to tell you. And in that, it is already, I mean, a lot of diverse, and you can see that it is very complex also. It is not very simple. Okay, lot of organisms are present different at a different complexities. You can find the organisms. Okay, now how to study this one? Okay, how to study this one? For that, you have something called as levels of biological organization. Okay, you have to know what is the levels of biological organization. Okay. So on this basis, you are going to study how diverse is our uh, system. I mean, the organisms. How diverse are the organisms? That is plants and animals. So on what basis you can study that? On the levels of biological organization. Okay. And if you see the biological organization, it as a starting point of this one, you can start with a cell. Okay. Wherein you call this, what is a cell? So what is a cell? So cell is a basic structural and functional unit of life. Okay, on which it is a basic level of biological organization. Okay, very a starting point of a biological organization. And before that, it comes to be the cells are made from many molecules. Okay, so molecules such as proteins, such as that carbohydrates, minerals. So all those things together constitute the cell. Okay, the macromolecules we call them as macromolecules or the large molecules. Okay, macro means large and molecules are the components. Okay, the molecules with the very large molecules make up your cell. That is uh, like your carbohydrates, that is sugars, and then you have the proteins, and then a lot of vitamins, minerals. You have lot of fatty acids, okay, lipids. So all those things together forms a macromolecules, and these macromolecules constitute a cell. And cell forms the basic structural and functional unit of life, that you know. And together, if you group certain types of cells, okay, many types of cells are grouped in a to perform a specific function. You can call it as what? So group of cells. ತುಂಬಾ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಕೂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? What you call group of cells? You can call group of cells as tissue. Okay, so group of cells can be called as tissues. And so group of tissues will form together. It can be formed into a group of tissues can form into a organ. Okay, so a specific type of organ can be formed from a group of tissues. Okay, so then many organs, say for example, you have many organs such as your esophagus, you have stomach, you have small intestine, you have large intestine, and all these organs, or say for example lungs you have, kidney you have, brain you have, and then these organs together constitute your organ system. Okay, it constitute into a organ system. Say you have the organ systems. Okay, different organ systems you have in your body. Okay, that is called as, say for example, you have digestive system, you have respiratory system, you have circulatory system, different systems you have in your body. Okay, that is called as organ system. And these organ systems together, all these organ systems will constitute an organism. Okay, will constitute a organism. Okay, we are talking about a individual organism. Okay, individual organism agi develop ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That is what happens in case of an individual organism. And then comes out here, these organisms tend to live in a specific group. Okay, in a specific group, you can call this group as population. Okay, that is what you can call it as a population. So what is population? So it is a group of organisms. Okay, group of organisms in a specific geographical area. Okay, in a specific geographical area or a region. Okay, or a region, you can call them, or you can call it as a population. So group of organisms, I tell you, so these organisms belong to a same species. Okay, so these organisms are belonging to a same species, not different species. Okay, only say for example you have human population. So human population, you will find only homo sapiens, the species are human beings. Monkeys, say population of monkeys, it is only restricted to monkeys. Okay, then this population together many different populations. Okay, say for example, you have monkey population, you have squirrel population, you have bird population. Together, it is going to be present in a specific region. Okay, in a specific region, you can call them as a community. You can call them as a community. Say for example, you have squirrels, as I told you, or the birds which is present on a tree. Okay, the birds which are present on a tree. So you have different species. So different organisms belonging to different species are present in a same region. Okay, that region you can call it as a, say for example, you have a tree. Okay, in a tree, different species or different populations are present together. You can call such a organization level as community. Okay, so what is that? A group of different organisms. Okay, group of different organisms belonging to different species. Okay, I'm telling you, this is different organism means different species. Okay, group of different species that is present in a specific specific area. Okay, in a specific area, you can call it as a community. Okay, then if you go further from a community, you have a higher level, that is ecosystem. Okay, that is your ecosystem. So after community, you have a larger space in which there is going to be interactions. Okay, interactions are taking place. So interactions are taking place between the organisms. Okay, between the organisms in a area. Okay, in a given area, there are a lot of interactions that are going on between the organisms as well as between the physical environment. You can call that such a level, you can call it as a ecosystem. Okay, so wherein lot of interactions are going to be happening. Okay, so ecosystems and karithi. Next, you can, if a larger ecosystem, okay, larger ecosystem, you can call it as a biome. Okay, so here it is a large area. Okay, here you have a large area, talking about a very large area like a tropical rainforest or evergreen forest. ಆ ತರ ಒಂದು large area na ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, and then in which you have it has a specific vegetation. Okay, it has got a specific vegetation in it. And what do you mean by vegetation here? Vegetation means, so vegetation means the flora or the plants. Okay, plants athwa flora anta karitivi. So you have a specific vegetation. This specific vegetation, okay, this specific vegetation is going to decide the animals that are present. Okay, that is your fauna. Okay, the animals, which plants are, sorry, which animals should be present in that area, that is going to be decided on the basis of the specific vegetation that is present in that area. Okay, so such an area you can call it as a biome. So for example, for your example, you have, you can write a different types of forest. Okay, say for example, you have tropical rainforest. Okay, tropical rainforest, it can be an example for biome, or you can give a desert ecosystem. Okay, desert can be an example for biome. Okay, different biomes are present now. Now this, on what basis here you have different types of I mean biomes. Okay, different types of biomes. It is on the basis of temperature. Okay, it is on the basis of, the first thing is temperature. So what is the temperature in a tropical rainforest and what is the temperature in a desert? So desert has got very high temperature comparatively to the tropical rainforest. Okay, that is what you have. And then you can give other examples, like other factors you can give, that is your precipitation. So precipitation means not your chemistry precipitation. Okay, it is we are talking about ecology perspective, that is rain. Okay, rain and correct. So amount of rain. So amount of rain is going to decide which type of biome is going to be present. Okay, amount of rain that is going to decide the different type of biome. Say for example, tropical rainforest has got more precipitation rather than desert. You know, in a desert ecosystem or in a desert biome, the precipitation level is very less. Okay, then the other thing is you can go for snow also. Snow can be a deciding factor. So in a Himalayan forest, okay, or a deciduous forest, you can find a pine forest. So in that, you'll see usually you can see snowfall. Snowfall is a factor for deciding a biome. Okay, so that's all about different levels of ecosystem. We started with macromolecules, then came to cell, then you have tissues, then organ, organ system, then the organism. Okay, then you have organism. From organism, you have population, then comes community, then it is ecosystem. Okay, ecosystem, and finally we reached biome. Okay, and all the biomes together you can call it as a biosphere also. The highest level can call it as a biosphere, means nothing but your earth. The entire earth can be considered as a total ecosystem. So we, in this unit, in the ecology, you will be studying all this four different levels of organization. Okay, different levels of organization you will be studying, starting from organism and then going with population and then community and ecosystem. This will be dealt in the next chapter, that is in the ecosystem. And very less is given about biome. Okay, biome is very less discussion that you have in your textbook. So we'll be largely on a large scale. In the next chapter we'll be discussing about ecosystem as well as the community and what are the interactions and all we'll be discussing in the next chapter. And in this chapter, as the name suggests, you have organisms and population. So we'll be concentrating more on population in this chapter. Okay, in this chapter we'll be concentrating more on population level, not on the organism level. Okay, so without delay we'll start with the populations. Okay, populations, as I've given the definition for you, it is nothing but a group of same species that is present in a definite geographical region. Okay, definite geographical region, you can call it as a population. Okay, so now this is your, just I'll go through the slides. Okay, please go through this one, please see to it. You have the basic level, that is it starts from individual. Okay, individual, then population, then comes the higher level, that is community. Okay, then you have ecosystem, biomes, and the largest one is biosphere. Okay, so the basic unit of ecology, okay, it is the basic unit of ecology is your individual. Okay, basic unit of ecology is nothing but the individual. Then comes a group of individuals together forms a population. Then different species forms a community. And then comes your ecosystem. And then lastly, your biome. Okay, this is what the levels of organization. Now, so they have given to explain this ecology, they have given an example, very interesting example of bulbul. Okay, the bird which is singing. Okay, so at any level of biological organization, we can ask two types of questions. Okay, so you can ask two different types of questions in ecology. So what is that? How and why type. Okay, how type and why type question. Okay. So for example, when we hear the bulbul singing early morning in the garden, okay, we may ask, how does the bird sing? The bird is singing. How does it sings? That is the first question, a primary question that you can ask. Okay. Then, or you can ask, why does the bird sing? Okay. Out of curiosity, why it is singing? ಯಾಕೆ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. The how type questions seek a mechanism behind the process. Okay. How type questions will tell you what is the mechanism behind it, how it is going to sing. So, what is the principle behind it? So, how it is producing sound. Okay, by with the help of they have given the voice box, okay, or sirens and then karitivi, that is your voice box. So vibrations in the bones will create a sound, okay, that is from the sirens. So that is why, that is how it is going to sing. That is the first question. And the next question, the second question, for that second question, what is that? Why the bird is singing? ಯಾಕೆ bird ಯಾಕೆ ಹಾಡು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, it is to communicate with its mate during the breeding season. Okay, is to communicate with a bird during mating season. That is why. 1 minute, students. Okay. Okay. So the second question is why type question. Okay, what is the mechanism? I mean, the first question is what is the mechanism and how it is going to sing, and the second question is why it is singing. Okay, why the bird, the bulbul is singing. So in order to communicate with its mate during the breeding season. So breeding season means the reproductive phase. Okay, reproductive phase ಗೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ಲಿ, you have to the male bird has to impress the female bird. So hence there is breeding, therefore it will be allowed for breeding. Otherwise, hence it is going to sing or to communicate with its mate, that is the female bird. So that is why it is going to sing. Now, when you observe the nature around you with a scientific frame of mind, you will certainly come up with many interesting questions. Okay, many interesting questions you can find like this. Not only bulbul singing, you can have many questions. See, many examples are given in your NCERT itself. Say, for example, you have night blooming flowers are generally white in color. Okay, so night blooming flowers are white in color. Why it is white in color? Okay, they are asking why type question. So white is white in color. Can anyone answer this? Why the night blooming flowers are generally white? Okay, because in order to attract, okay, so remember, in order to attract nocturnal pollinators. Okay, nocturnal means those organisms which are active at the night. Okay, nocturnal pollinators na attract madlikke, they are white in color. Okay, because at the night time it is the moon's light will be reflected by the white color. Okay, so white color flash are present in order to attract nocturnal pollinators. Okay, remember that, because hence the night blooming flowers are generally white in color. And it will save its energy to synthesize the pigments. So different pigments are required for colors alwa. So colors ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ different pigments ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. So that energy is saved and that energy is transformed into your to create orders. Okay, I mean orders means the smell. Okay, smell to attract the pollinators. They will, rather than producing the pigments, they will invest their energy in order to bring out the different smells. Okay, so that is why it is going to be produced into white color. And how does the bee know which flower has nectar? So bees are, the bees main function is to pick the nectar from the flowers, alva? So how does the bee know which flower has nectar and which does not have? So many flowers will not have nectars, but many of them offer nectars. Okay, that you have studied in your first chapter itself, pollination, in the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So how does the bee know where on which flowers have nectar? These bees have a, okay, sensors. Okay, they have a sensors, neurological sensors that can attract, that can get attracted towards the nectar which is present. Okay, and their vision is also like that. So the vision of these organisms, the pollinators, will be in such a way that it can see through the nectars. Yeah, and one more thing is through the smell also. Okay, through the smell also it can get a note of the flower which has got nectar in it. Okay, then why does cactus have so many thorns? Okay, cactus plant ಅಲ್ಲಿ will find the thorns, ಮುಳ್ಳುಗಳಿರುತ್ತವೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? What is the purpose of this thorns? So basically it is for defense purpose. Okay, defense from the herbivores. So herbivores will eat away all the plants, I mean the cactus. So in order to avoid that, it will produce thorns as a defense mechanism, and also to reduce transpiration. Okay, transpiration na kadme ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, the loss of water, you can call it as transpiration. So to reduce the transpiration, you can go for, I mean the cactus have got thorns. Okay, that is the question. And how does the chick spurs recognize its own mother? Okay, her own mother, how it is going to recognize? So ಒಂದು ಕೋಳಿ ಅದ್ರ ತಾಯಿನ ಹೇಗೆ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? It is through behavioral imprints. Okay, through behavioral imprints. So what is that? So as soon as the chick comes out or hatches from the egg, okay, it hatches from the egg. ಕೋಳಿ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆಯಿಂದ ಆಚೆ ಬಂದಾಗ, so what happens? It interacts with a object which is going to be near to it, and it is going to be move. Okay, so it interacts with the objects which is moving. ಯಾವ್ದು ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So which is going to move? Hence that is your, the mother hen is going to be staying near the chicks, and it is going to be taking care of that organism. Okay, or its baby, that is its chick. So the mother hen is going to take care the chick. So hence it knows, the hen, mother hen is the protector. Okay, it is going to feed it, or it is going to take care of it. Hence the chicks will identify that it is a protector. Okay, not as a mother, but moreover it is a protector of themselves ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. That is how the chicks identifies or recognizes its own mother. Okay, then you have, we'll come to the population. That's all about the introduction part. Then you have the populations. So what do you mean by populations? Many times I have discussed the definitions already. Can you tell me what do you mean by populations? Yes, what do you mean by populations? I've told you the definition already. So populations are nothing but a group of s- wait, okay, group of similar organisms belonging to a similar species, okay, or a belonging to a specific species, okay, belonging to a specific species where it is going to share or compete, okay, it is going to share or compete for resources, okay, remember it is going to share or compete for resources, and they can interbreed, okay, they can interbreed between themselves, okay, they can interbreed between themselves. That is your actual definition of a population. So it is nothing but a group of similar organisms belonging to the same species or specific species, and they share or compete. They can share the resources or they can compete for the resources. Okay, they are, see, for example, human beings, we share the resources and we'll live in a social group. Okay, so we are going to live in a group itself, but we share at the same time, we share the resources, and also we fight for the resources. See, sometimes people won't get the food. Okay, then the family cannot provide food for all the individuals. So hence there will be competition for resources. Okay, competitions will be present for resources, that you can see in case of a population, and then they can interbreed between themselves. Okay, they can interbreed. So interbreed, the meaning is they can have or undergo sexual reproduction, only sexual reproduction, not asexual reproduction. So when in the context of ecology, you have to talk about only sexual reproduction, not about a asexual reproduction. Okay, so that is what here you have, a group of similar organisms belonging to a same species or specific species share or compete for resources, and they can interbreed with themselves. Okay, or within themselves or between themselves, you call it as a species, sorry, a population. Okay, so remember the definition of population. Anyways, you will not be asked a direct definition, but you have to know what is meant by uh, population. Okay, so that is what you have in case of population. And after that, you have to know something called as population attributes. Okay, population attributes. What do you mean by attributes? Attributes and then attributes are nothing but the features. Okay, attributes are nothing but features. Okay, they are, okay, many of you are typing the definitions, group of organisms of same species. Yeah, specific geographical area. Yeah, you can write that. You have to mention about resources also. Okay, that is what in depth you have to understand about the populations. You have to mention the, in the definitions, you have to mention that it is going to compete for, or it is going to share the resources. Okay, you have to mention that point as well, Darshan. So you have not included in that in your definition. You please add that also. Okay. Now coming to population attributes. Attributes are nothing but the features, or you can call it as a characters. So how you can study population on basis of your population attributes. Okay. On the basis of population attributes itself, you're going to study, or you can study the populations. Okay. So populations attributes are of different things, like different varieties you have, that is starting with birth rates, and then you have death rates, then you have sex ratio, age pyramids, and then population density. So each one of this one you have to study in detail. Okay, each one of them you have to study in detail. So what are the examples? Can you give us some examples for populations? Give some examples for populations. NCRT mentions you about cormorants. Okay, there are something organisms called as cormorants. These cormorants are nothing but fish-eating birds. Okay, fish-eating birds. you can call them as cormorants. It is belonging to a specific species, okay, specific species, and it is present in a area, a single area. Say, for example, in a lake, okay, a group of or a population of cormorants, a group of cormorants present in a lake, you can call it as a population. Okay, you can call it as a population, or you can call the rats or rodents. Okay, rats or rodents can be called as, I mean, present in a leftover area. Okay, that you can also call it, call them the rats as a specific population. Okay, or and other examples, you have other examples, that is the teak wood. Okay, teak wood present in a plantation. Okay, in a plantation you have teak plants, only teak plants are present, so hence you can consider it also as a example for, that is your population. Okay, these are some of the examples. You can give n number of examples. Okay, if you want, you can give n number of examples. I have mentioned only those examples which are present as per your NCERT. Okay, then also not only this is in a large scale. Okay, you have a small scale under very micro level. You can give the microorganisms, that is, or say for example, you have the bacteria which is present in a culture. Bacteria that is present in a culture can also be called as a population. The bacterial population can be called as a population as well. Okay, although it is very minute, very microorganism, you can give that example for your population. Okay, you have like many examples you can give. Human beings can be a good example for population, and the lotus plants in a pond you can give as an example. You can give n number of examples for the populations. So population attributes, okay, we'll come to population attributes. So whenever you are considering population or population attributes, you have to compare. Okay, we'll be comparing with the organism level and the population level, organism level and population level. Say for example, you have at a population level, say first one. Okay, first one ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದಿತ್ತು, ಬರ್ತ್ ರೇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬರ್ತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, birth is for individual. Okay, birth is for individual level, and when you consider for population level ಅಲ್ಲಿ consider ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, it is birth, it becomes birth rate. Okay, becomes birth rate. Or if you consider death at a individual level, it becomes death rate at a population level. At a population level, it is death rate. And sex ratio. Okay, you have the next attribute as sex ratio. At the individual level, we have different sex. Okay, you have the male as well as you have the female individual. Alva? But at a population level, we'll be talking about sex ratio. Okay, we'll be talking about sex ratio. And then what else you have? Other things like you have age pyramids. Okay, age pyramids means individually we have different ages. Okay, so individuals we have, say for example, starting from a baby. Okay, a 1 year old baby you have individual level, and the adults you have 18 years. For example, you are around 16 to 17 years of age. Okay, so and other people, and for example myself, we are having more age than you. Okay, so individual level we are talking about age. Okay, but at a population level, we will compare it in a larger level. Okay, we'll have three categories of ages. Okay, we'll talk about these categories later on. Okay, when we come to in detail about this age and age pyramids, and at the these three categories are made on the basis of age pyramids. Okay, we have something called as age pyramid. And then at the last, you have something called as population density. Okay, population density. So population at the individual level, if you talk, you have number of individuals. Alva? Number of individuals. So we'll talk about the same thing at a population level. You call it as population density ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Okay, population size ಅಥವಾ population density. You can call it as population size or population density as well. Okay, these are the things we'll be discussing in the uh, next slides. Okay, the first one, the key attributes of population is your birth rate. Okay, birth rate. So per thousand people, you're talking per year. So how many children or how many individuals are born per thousand people per year? You can call it as birth rate. Okay, thousand people ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಪರ್ ಥೌಸಂಡ್ your people, how many of them are born? The number of live births. Okay, we are talking about number of live births per thousand people in a population over a given period. Okay, over a given period. Usually we record it as a year. Okay, 1 year and per year. How much increase in the population you will be discussing about that. Okay. Then you have death rate. Okay, death rate is per thousand people per year. So how many of them are dead per year? The number of deaths per thousand people in a population over a given period. Over a given period, again the time period we consider it as 1 year itself, not less. Okay, 1 year. I mean, we will not consider it as a smaller intervals like say 1 week, 1 month, and consider model. So we are considering it as usually as 1 year as per when you consider human beings. Okay, human beings in picture. Then you have sex ratio. Okay, sex ratio, ratio of males and females. So sex means you have male and female sex. So what is the ratio for how many males you have, how many females? So for say for 1,000 in a population of 1,000, so how many are males or how many are females? Okay, what is the ratio between them? So how many females are present for a how many males? You can call it as a sex ratio. Here 51% and 49%. It is the real time value of India. Okay, they have given 59% male and 49% is a female. Now it will change. Okay, it is dynamic. It is going to change. The ratio of males to females in a population over often expressed as males per 100 females. Okay, so how many males are present per 100 females? Okay, 100 females ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮೇಲ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. Next you have age distribution. So age distribution, in by using age distribution you will plot a graph. Okay, that graph you can call it as age pyramids. Okay, it will come out to be age pyramids. So what do you mean by that age pyramid? The population of the population within different age groups. Okay, within the different age groups, what is the population that is present? Say, for example, below 18. So, how many people are present in the age group below 18? And above 18 and below 60, how many people are present? That is one category you can make. And above 60. Okay, above 60, the old age people. Okay, how many of them are above 60? That is different groups that you can make and which are critical for future growth projections. About if you know this range, okay, if you know this range, you can definitely predict what will be the future population uh, distribution or age distribution that is present in a population. And lastly, the population density. Okay, population density is very important. So you know what is density? Density means number of individuals. Okay, number of ecology perspective ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿನ ಬೇರೆ ನೀವು ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಕರಿತಿರ್ತೀರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ particles in physics present in a given area, you can call it as density. But here population density, the number of individual organisms. Okay, number of individual organisms that is present in a unit area. Okay, in a unit area, that unit area may be a square kilometer. Okay, the number of people present in 1 square kilometer. Okay, or per square kilometer, how many individuals are present in a given area? Say for example in Hosadurga, so how many individuals are present per square kilometer? You can tell or you can give that population density. Okay, so here you can see in this graph, there is high density means more individuals are present in this region. And here you can see there is low density. Okay, low density is present in this region. So that is what you can measure So on the basis of density, you can measure the population. You can get a brief idea about population. So starting with the first one, birth rate and death rate. So birth rate and death rate is nothing but we are talking about the per capita births or deaths. Okay, per capita growth in the births as well, or the births and deaths you are talking about, that is given as a birth rate or the death rate. The number of individuals born, you can call it as birth rate. The number of individuals dead in a given time period, you can call it as death rate. Okay, so we, as per individual level, you have births and deaths. Okay, but at a population level, you are talking about rates. Okay, in a given time period, how many births are happening or how many death is going to be happening. Okay, so you have to calculate that. I'll give you an example. Say for example, in a for birth rate. Okay, for birth rate, I'll give you an example. So okay, we have a pond. Okay, we have a pond. So in that pond, you have many lotus. Okay, lotus species are present in a pond. Say you have initially, okay, at the beginning of a year, say in 2024. So 2024, it had got 20 lotus. Okay, a simple idea. Okay, it's a for example, in 2024, you had 20 lotus, and when we saw it in the next year, that next coming year, it was grown into 28 lotus. There was a population of 28 lotus. So what is the growth? So how much have been added to this population of lotus? That is your birth rate. Okay, how many births have happened in this lotus population? That is your birth rate. Okay, birth rate anta adana karibodu. So how many lotus is present or it is grown in this population? I mean, in this pond. So 20 to 28. ಎಷ್ಟು add ಆಗಿದೆ? You have 8 lotus. So 8 lotus plants have added to this initial population. So initial population was 20 lotus and later on it became 28. This 2025, you can call it as final population. Okay, final population ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀರಾ ಇದನ್ನ. And 2024 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ initial population ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Okay, initial population. Okay, you can call this as initial population. So initial and final population, you'll get the difference. So you will get the difference, that is final minus initial. Okay, final minus initial population is your the difference. You will get that difference is nothing but you can call this difference as delta n. Okay, where n is number of organisms. Okay, number of organisms anta n anna karibodu. And then you have the formula to calculate the birth rate. You have, that is, birth rate is equal to delta n by n delta t. Okay, birth rate is equal to delta n by n delta t. So what is delta n? The change in population. Okay, delta n is nothing but change in population. Okay, that is, what is the formula for this? Final minus initial population. Final minus initial population will give you delta n. Okay, and n is again number of species. What is this? Delta t is change in time. Okay, so this is nothing but your change in time. So change in time. Now what I mean, according to this values, can you calculate this one? What will be the values? Delta n is, we have already calculated, it is comes out to be 8. N is what? N is what? N is nothing but number of individuals. Okay, number of individuals present at the starting. Okay, present at the initial time. So that you can call it as n. That was 20. Okay, 20. So how many? I mean, what is the time? Change in time is what? 2024 to 2025. How many years? That is 1 year. Okay, per year ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 20 into 1 ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು. So per year means 1 year. So can calculate this one. What will be the value? Comes out to be 8 by 20. 8 by 20 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು? Divide ಮಾಡಿ. The value will be 0.4. Okay, 0.4 will be the value. Okay, 0.4 will be the value. 0.4 offsprings. Yeah, how we have to answer this means 0.4 offsprings per lotus. Okay, per lotus per year. Per lotus per year. So 0.4 is the birth rate, increase in the growth rate of this population is nothing but here 0.4. Okay, so 0.4 offsprings per lotus per year has been increased in this lotus population present in a lake. Done. That is how you calculate birth rate. Okay, and in the next one will same logic please apply for death rate also. Death rate, same formula is same, delta n by n delta t. Okay, the example you have, I'll give you a different example. Say for example in a lab. Okay, in a lab you have 40 fruit flies. Okay, there are 40 fruit flies. So out of this 40 fruit flies, 4 will be dead or 4 died in a week. ಒಂದು ವಾರದಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಸತ್ತೋದು. ಹೌದಾ? So that is the data that you have. So what is the final population now? So this becomes initial population. Final population is, so 40 minus 4. After a week, it will become 36. So 36 will be your final population. So final population will be 36 and initial population will be 40. Now, what you have to calculate? Delta n by n delta t. That gives you death rate. Okay, death rate ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. What is the change in this number? I mean, change in the number of individuals is 4 by n is initial, that is 40. So 40 becomes initial. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ death rate ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತಿರೋದು ನಾವು. 40 becomes initial thing. Then 4 by 40 into 1. Okay, 1 week ಅನ್ನ 1 ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. What is 4 by 40? Very simple calculation. 0.1. Okay, 0.1 will be their answer. Okay, that is correct. Yeah. So 0.1 will be your answer for death rate. That is all about your birth rate and death rate. So this was very useful during the measurement of the death rates and death rates during COVID. Okay, so we were having the coronavirus. Okay, in the before last year, like 2020. So at 2020 we were having, it was shown in the news and all. So death rate. So this is the death rate, that the death rate has been increasing due to the COVID viruses. Okay, it was in news, and there may be there may be increase or decrease. Okay, increase ಆದ್ರೆ number increase ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ birth rate ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. If the number of individuals decreased, we can call it as death rates. Okay, that is the difference you have to understand. And yeah, it is always given in per capita. Okay, per capita death rate ಅಥವಾ per capita births ಅಂತ ನೀವು consider ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. Okay, that is what you have in case of birth rate and death rate. The next one is sex ratio. I'll complete it and I'll stop here itself. So sex ratio is nothing but at the individual level you have male and female sex. Male sex and female sex and but at a population level you are talking about sex ratio. So that is nothing but how many males are present for females. Say 100 females. So 100 females ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮೇಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ this ratio is nothing but your sex ratio. Okay. Say for example, you have in a population you have 60% females, 60% females, and what will be the males? How much percentage will be the males? Males will be 40% males. Okay. So if you're asked what is the ratio, for example, in this you have 1,000 individuals. Okay, if we'll take an example, that is there are 1,000 people. So out of this 1,000 people, we'll take the same data. 60% are females, 40% are males. So can you tell me what will be the ratio? What will be the ratio? How you can find it out? So out of 1,000 people, 60% are females and 40% are males. So 60% females, I'll go with 600. 60% of 1,000 people is nothing but 600. And 40% of 1,000 people is 400. Adalva. So now calculate this one. 0, 0 cancel. And 2 3 is a 2 2 is a. Okay. Then 3 is to 2 or 3 by 2 ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ 3 is to 2 will be your answer. Okay. So 2 is yeah 3 is to 2 or 2 is to 3. So that is female is to male. Okay, female is to male. So when here I am asking male is to female and 2 is to 3. So whatever. So females ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 2 ಇದೆ. I mean females is 3 and males are 2. So 2 is to 3 is the ratio. So that is male to female ratio. Now what you have to understand is if this difference is more, okay, if remember if the difference is more, then it shows that the population is unhealthy. Okay, there is a unhealthy population that is present in case of this ratio. If the ratio, I mean population ratio or sex ratio, if you know, if there is a difference, more difference in the sex ratio, will tell you that the population is unhealthy. Say for example, in India, say we have for every 1,000 males, there is 950, around the 900 females. Okay, around 900 females are present in India. But if the difference is more, say for every 1,000 males, you have only 500 females. That is a big problem. Okay, it was the situation back in 1960s and all, wherein there was a lot of female feticides. So female feticides ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು, female population ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. And the male population was given much preference and there was much more population in case of males. Okay, that creates an imbalance in the society. That is what the population becomes imbalanced, and it shows that it is unhealthy population. So this ratio, if it is very close enough, then it tells you that we have a healthy population ratio. Okay, that is the population is good ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. So that is what you can come to know about the population by using this different attributes. Next you have age pyramids that we will continue in the next class. So that's all for today. See, if you have any doubts, please comment. So we'll be winding up the class now. It's already time. So that's all students for today. We'll catch you tomorrow for the next class. So thank you all.